Tonight's show, we're talking about the truth about healing. And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You saw like the sun on your end table. It's too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like, relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are there.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
There needs to be a connection with like a Native American ancestry. And they're showing me a turquoise stone. Yes.
I just went to a Native American dance class and I wore this stone.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Tamara's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you won! You won!
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here? We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk repeat I'm living it.
In harmony with nature.
Hello, beautiful souls. Happy Thursday Night Live. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How's y'all week been? Actually, 2 weeks have been because I wasn't here last week. Took my week off. I take that 1 week off a month as need be. So how y'all been since that week? It's been an interesting week. As per Iggy, I actually going to read Iggy's statement about this week's energy because I found it quite interesting if I could find it. Iggy and I have been texting a lot, but I want to let you know about the astrology this week before we get into the reads and stuff because he says something that's very interesting. He says, from the Aquarius solar eclipse and Fire Horse, the Chinese astrology, yesterday to Friday. So that was Saturn and Neptune conjunction. This was yesterday. At 0 degrees Aries, the last time this happened was 4361 BC. So we're preparing for some big ass and fast changes and movement. So that has been the week. And so a lot of people might be feeling a little bit of sluggishness, slowness within business or work or with things, trying to get things going. Things have been a little slow. So that's expected during this time. So I think things will pick up and we'll kind of see what the collective read, says about that as well. And boy, do I need to update that intro. I need to shorten that intro now. It's been a couple years has been that long since I've been on there, so I need to shorten it down, make it appropriate for 44 years of age. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to do that. I've been working on a music video, so the music video for Save the Future will be out soon. I'm probably 90% done with it. So it's a roller coaster ride. So that's intended to be. So I've been working on that. So I can't wait to show you guys all that as well. And this week has been interesting because every time I say we have a slow week or if there's retrograde, I say let's take advantage of this energy to slow down and take a pause. And a pause to ask ourselves the things that we're not maybe progressing on. Now's the time to say, what can I do to change or tweak? What can I do to, do something fresh? What can I do to reshift? And so now's a great time to do those things, either if it's, logistically, doing it with your projects or tasks or doing it emotionally or intellectually. Now's the time to do that. Because the cliche sentiment of the calm before the storm is really indicative of this week for me. Cause I feel like things are about to really pick up, in the next, week or so. So every year there's always a cycle, right? Ups and downs, just like every cycle of winter, summer, spring, there's always a different essence, right? And so the same thing with energy cycles. We just want to make sure we're on par and know what they are so we don't freak out. We don't make the worst decisions in the times that the energy is heavy, and we don't react, which can be destructive during the times of these energies are in these lulls of this nature. So, and that's why I'm here. And that's why I think it's a perfect time to come back this week instead of take off this week and do last week, is probably you guys need a message this week. And so the topic today is the truth about healing. And I've done these topics before. It's been a long time, but it's always good to refresh and come from a different point of view and say things I haven't said before about it. And sometimes just have a reminder about where we might be at. So before we get into that, though, let's see who's Chatty Cathy on in the room here. See who's here. Julia Fox. Hello, Scott, and everyone. This topic seems very interesting. It is, because, some people make it a sport. Some people make healing a sport. Some people are just like, I'm just trying to find every way to heal and do this healing. So we'll get into that. What does it mean spiritually? What does it mean physically? And is healing a long-term thing? We'll get into that too, because I think some people have made healing a very long-term thing in their lives. And like, I don't know if you're really healing if you're continuously healing. Do you know what I'm saying? You're not healed because you're continuously healing. So we'll get into that, what that means and how to avoid that. Alma Ford, good to see you. Jennifer Cruz, my maker is in the room. My mother is in the room. Good to see you. I was just talking to her. Karma, good to see you. Josh's Universe, welcome aboard. Good to see you. Sydney Aaron, peep to you back. Wonderful Mod Nina is in the room. If you want to get a question, get them in now. I'm going to keep it nice and light this week. So just get your questions now if you want to get them in. 15 for a card pull, 20 for one question, 30 for two questions, 40 for a live video. And I have Felicia will be my number one question. I have her, just so I will let Felicia know that you were first in queue, as we said before. So just want to acknowledge that. And Sacred Blueprints, good to see you. Peep to you as well. A lot of people doing peeps today. Pamela Johnson, great. Yes, good talking to you as well. Ketra's Oracle Magic, good to see you as well. I'm just going down here to Iggy, can't you see? Yo, Scott's video Tuesday single, Save Future is golden. That's right. Iggy's been getting the previews. He got a preview of the song before it came out. He got a preview of the video because I need my Aqua's like point of view, eye on things. Tell me, yay, nay. So dropping it. Darby Mabry, good to see you. Abby Coe, hello. Ashley Sandoval, good to see you as well. James Porterfield, what's going on, man? Good to see you as well. Year of the Fire Horse. I know it's going to be a fiery time. Ron, good to see you. Hey. Just Linda Jane, good to see you as well. Just scrolling down here and seeing who's Chatty Cathy on the room, and those who are watching, and my Lisa, sister from my same Mista, good to see you as well. And those who are watching, welcome aboard. I can only see who's Chatty in the room. So let's get to this collective read, shall we? Let's see what's going on. What does the Spirit have to say for this week ahead, too, as we're coming out of this sluggish bone period, is what I like to call it. And my overlays. My guide just remind me, Scott, change your overlay to the collective reading. Voila. There you go. Because I always forget. Because it's really not so much about how do we change the energy about what's in the collective, because we can change the energy of ourselves and change our approach, but we can't change the energy cycles that we're in. Sometimes we have to weather the storm and we have to calm the tide. And so that's things that we have to do, or just ride the wave in a sense. And so once we master how to ride the wave, we don't become so much bound to circumstances anymore, because we start realizing, you know what, no matter what occurs, I can coast on it. I can maneuver around it. I maneuver with it. I don't have to try to get out of it, right? And so this is what this week is definitely trying to teach you. And so, but I'm going to pull these cards and shuffle these cards and see what additional is there for you. And those of you who are new, I don't need tarot. I'm a psychic medium, but I use tarot for instances like this live. And so it's just kind of a guide point, but then I go off and channel and do things that the guides kind of, direct me on. That's interesting because that card came out twice. Okay, gotcha. This is an interesting message. All right, we're just taking our time with these, keeping it quiet, because I'm like, should I talk? Do I shuffle? Let's kind of just ease up on the nice quietness of this, right? Maybe I should do tarot ASMR, right? Shuffling the cards. All right, we're flipping. We're shuffling. Tarot ASMR. Okay. Oh, wow. All right. Okay, let me get some oracles. It's an interesting read. I'm going to say this. This is really in part to my song, Save the Future. So if you guys haven't heard it, go check it out. Because I know the astrology, I know where we're going. And this, I wrote the song because I think we need to be thinking about how not so much of what we're doomed in the future, that we have the ability and we have the conscious awareness to alter and shift it and change it and to expand upon it and to elaborate on it. And we all know this intuitively and consciously because we've incarnated here in order to experience this roller coaster, but also the joys of this evolution that we're about to experience in the next 5 to 7 years. So we need to start saving the future instead of fighting and worrying about doom and gloom, because we came here to create. And I just said that in this creation cards there. And so this is what we need to be doing now. So let me just tap in 2 seconds so I can get this read going. Give me a couple of seconds here. Okay. Okay. First card we have in the position is the Fool card, right? So this is all about new beginnings, right? The Fool card is starting new, and I've been saying and preparing you guys for a long time about creating this new version, this new identity, right? This new perspective, this new paradigm, the new belief structures, right? The new point of view, right? And so now you're starting to identify with this newness energy, and a lot of people may have not been stepping into that completely or merged or phased into that completely, but you can feel this newness. You can sense there's something about to explode. There's something about to like happen, right? And so a lot of people have been feeling that in the undercurrent. Like I said in the beginning, calm before the storm energy. But the Fool card really is indicative of the fact that we still need to be looking where we leap. That's the emphasis of the Fool card. Look before you leap, right? Even though you're being very joyful and you don't want to be the fool in the sense of that you're not being wise on how you're moving forward ahead. Now, this time of this week, when I said it's very heavy, very slow, it's here to teach us specifically how can we be how can be intertwined with people, with partnerships, not just romantic partnerships, but when it comes to friendships, work partnerships, business relationships, right? How can we utilize and integrate our relationships in order for us to mingle, in order for us to be productive, in order for us to come together to help each other? Because during this slow period, many people are going to feel distraught, like I can't do it by myself, or be thankful that they might be struggling, but they have a partner to balance them out. We need to understand this right now in the age of Aquarius. We need to understand, yes, we're independent, but we need to allow ourselves to rely on others as well. We need to seek the reliance of people for us and vice versa and so forth. So now is a time for us to understand how can we utilize those relationships and create a foundation with our relationships that is a give and take. Many people are giving too much. Like I'm going to just say this because a lot of people who come to my channel are overly giving, overly empathetic, and they give too much to people, and they need to like reserve that and understand how can they rely on someone, and how can someone give to them the way they need when they need, right? And so we need to understand both polarities of a relationship, the giving and the taking, the ebbing and the flowing. And so when we solidify this, that's where everything's going to go to shit. In the collective. And I say go to shit, I mean in a good way. You know, with the Tower card, actually, I'll just read this because I'm actually reading the cards pretty literal tonight because I feel like this is an interesting layout, right? So the Fool card, right? And then we talked about the Knight of Swords, which is all about things happening fast, quick movement. And the Two of Pentacles is all about partnership, but that's not just romantic. It's all about integration is what I'm reading this to be. And the Tower card comes following shortly after that. Okay, so this breaking down is breaking down of structures. Now, what is, so someone just asked a question, when does it become light? Well, there's light in everything. But sometimes we have to break down the things in order for the light to shine through. So we're going through a period collectively where we are experiencing a lot of realizations and revelations about things that we may have thought were one way, but that are not in our economy and our governments, right? And so that's showing us where we need to be focusing. So that is a good thing. That's a good step, but things have to be breaking down. Things have to crumble down. Structure, systems, belief structures, everything. So this is why I've been preparing guys for the last year about creating that new identity for yourself, like that new paradigm, the new point of view, a new vision, and how it can participate and integrate with the collective moving forward, because then you'll be in the right position. Then your careers will skyrocket. Then your relationships will skyrocket because you're right on par with the collective energy where it's intending to be, right? So, and the Devil card in reverse is all about that spiritual awakening too. We have been, a lot of people, I would say we as a collective, species, been so focused on survival, right? Food prices, Medicare, taxes, all this bullshit has been consuming our consciousness versus how can I integrate with better relationships? How can I be more creative? How can I move forward with my passions and with my abilities and talents and skill sets? It's been lacking in that department. Now, this is not to say that we need to put our freaking head in the sands and pretend like we're not in survival mode. That's a portion of our existence. Some of y'all are making that a full-time fucking gig about survival. And some of you might be in a position where you have to focus on it full-time. Okay. But in order to get yourself out in survivor mode into more expressive mode, you still have to find ways for your own survival of things that you are actually passionate and skilled at and things that you can actually integrate with that has value to you. And sometimes people get so low when they're in survival mode because they haven't valued themselves enough to take care of themselves the right way, right? And so that might need to be shifted if you're in the survival mode. We'll put you there. Because the problem is a lot of people just want to get out of it. I just want to get out of it. I just want things to be better. I just want things to be better. I just want to feel better. It's like, but you have to understand what put you there so you don't repeat it, so you can climb out of it. And so, and with this survival mode, I see a lot of people in, and it's not even just survival as far as, with just not being able to pay the bills. It's like survival, like relationships have become life and death for people. I don't have a relationship, so my life is over, and like, I don't know if I want to live because I don't have any relationships. It's like, but why is this so extreme? Have you done anything to apply your passion and intellect into mingling and bringing that in your life? I mean, there's stupidly simple questions here. And, I witness this very frequently, that people are just so reactive and they're so wrapped up in their emotions that they don't even look at things more acutely or more accurately or rationally. And that's what this message is about. Because during these slow periods, many people's minds tend to go in that rhythm, tend to go in that direction of limitation and deprivation and woe is me and now everything's fucking sucks and shitty and blah, 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 right? And so, but that's a choice. That's a reaction. That's a response. But you can address your frustrations, but choose to respond differently. Choose to respond differently. Because, what this era that we are in is forcing us to focus on right now is what's truly important. And not just for you, but for everybody else and others as well. Especially with this Epstein files shit that we've been talking about on Leading Out Loud, which I'm not going to talk about here because I talk about it enough there. But generally speaking, that this is if you look at it from a spiritual point of view, we are being pushed and pushed and forced to be uncomfortable, to speak up. Pushed and forced to be uncomfortable, so we start making some changes. Pushed and forced to be uncomfortable, so we start giving a damn about other people. Pushed and forced to be focused, so we understand we've been following lies and revering people on pedestals that shouldn't be there, and ideologies on pedestals that shouldn't be there, that have been depriving humanity. We've been pushed and forced to need to look at that. And now we come to a position where now everything is coming to a head right now. Especially, I said the Epstein files is the thing that's going to change everything. The releasing of it, the discovery of this, which once was a hoax, is now reality, right? And so this is something I believe that we all can agree on about the abuse of children, right? And what's going on with the trafficking. I don't think anybody can believe that unless you're disgusting like them. But other than just who cares about your political beliefs, your religious beliefs? We can all agree that shit shouldn't be happening. That should not be going on, nor should we be enslaved to these people who are power hungry and using the system as we're feeding the system, but yet we're deprived by the system. That should not be. And we're waking up to that. But all this heaviness is forcing us to focus on what's most important. And what can we do to contribute to that? So, we got to stop with these terms, these terminologies, liberal, this one, that one, we got to stop with all that, those terminologies, because, I went through a period where, because I was not, aligning with the extreme, liberal agenda, then I was some sort of a MAGA, whatever, it wasn't even MAGA. And now, because I'm caring about humanity and I want what's best for all people, and I don't agree what's going on currently, then now all of a sudden I'm a liberal. So what's with these labels, people? Are y'all wrapping yourselves up in these fucking labels? Because that's not growth. And so, and I've been hearing this a lot from, just all around with people. And I tell people, I agree with what's right, I agree with what's wrong. I don't care what fucking political side you're on. Get over yourselves with that, because now is the time. That shit is going to hold you back if you're staying stuck in it. You have to release it because it's crumbling down. And the reason why I'm saying this is because, excuse me, it's been like a year I haven't had these drips, nasal drips. My allergies. It's been snowing today. And I'm saying this because many people who've been clenching to religion, false religions, I would say the Christian nationalist type of religion, when that crumbles, get exposed, many people are not going to take it well. They don't know what to do. They're not going to know what to do. They've been holding on to that, holding on to their government, their political party. When that comes crumbling down, what are you going to do? Because people can't embrace the fact they've been duped. And so they'll defend it until no end. Please get out of that cycle. Please allow this current of revelation to be for all of us. And do not feel guilty because you voted away or didn't vote away. Who cares? At this point, it's about what we're doing to move forward. And this is the point here. So this week of downtime, is there for a reason, for us to figure that out, what we're doing and are we defending things in our current individual lives that we shouldn't be defending? Are we defending a job that has been depriving of us when we shouldn't defend it anymore? Are we defending a relationship that's not really supportive of us or respecting us? Are we defending that relationship when we shouldn't be defending that anymore? Are we defending politics? Are we defending a friggin' religion? People you don't even know? It's time to direct that inside. Because when you do, you would naturally want to express that and share it with other people and be collective with that. And we're going through a fast timeline. Y'all want fast change. So many people want things. I just want things to change. Things are changing very fast. Wake up to it. All because it's not your grows and gardens that you're wanting, people, as I keep hearing people complain. Things are changing very fast. And if you're understanding the path that we're on, you're discerning to where we're evolving to, you actually would be enjoying this ride as I am. Instead of I'm just when is it going to change? What's going to happen? We need to go with the evolution of this. And you're going to miss out on all the things that are just going to fly by you because you're so hyper-focused on getting out. And AI will just surpass you, and then you'll be don't know what to do because AI has taken over your job because you've been so wrapped up in not participating in this society that you get left behind in a sense, right? With the rapture that I always say, you get left behind. So we did a chat about AI 2 weeks ago on Lean Out Loud. We had David Palmer on, and we talked with him about that. And so, and I'm saying AI is going to help us to evolve. It's going to help us be more spiritually focused. If you're smart, there's a duality to everything. Which part of the polarity do you want to stand on? Do you want to stand on the positive polarity or the negative polarity? Because everything has a positive and negative polarity. It's our choice to decipher which end of that polarity we want to ride on. Your characteristics, your personality has a positive and negative polarity. You might be an overthinker, but your overthinking could get you to be strategic and get things very, done rationally, or you could overthink yourself to death till you put yourself in deprivation and build up a hole for yourself. So which end of the spectrum are you riding on in the polarity of whatever characteristic that you have, or whatever side of humanity that you're banking on? You're never going to not have polarity or duality. So we have to decipher this. So you should, and I've been feeling very intuitively and psychically that this age of AI, this age of moving forward with technology, and I've been saying this over and over again. That's what extraterrestrials. That's why they're able to be at a higher frequency, a higher, less dense reality because they use technology with physics to teleport and all these different things, right? So we can evolve, be more higher consciousness and less dense and less focused on density, which is what you all want. Everyone wants it. But no one wants to do anything to get there. And that's the problem I think people are facing with right now. Let's participate in getting there together. Let's be involved and all include ourselves in AI. Let's catch up. Let's study what we can do with it and what we shouldn't be doing with it. Let's get knowledgeable about these things. And you have to dive deep. It's just very simplistic. Be on board and just be open. Yeah, I'm open to it. Right? Because no matter what, when you're in control, nothing is actually going to affect your soul. Your soul will always pick the right avenue and always put you in a position where you be ahead and be ahead and be ahead, because we have to evolve somehow. And so, and we're in that stage. And that's why it's wonderful for me during this time, because I'm starting to see everything I was saying 14 years ago coming to light. And so it's nice to see this. I know where it's going. At least by 2030, things will be completely different than what they are today in this day and age. Especially 2027, there's a lot of huge changes and shifts in 2027 as well, politically and with our economy and our culture. So we have some exciting things to look forward to. But we're in that. We're kind of coming out of a tribulation phase. Now we're in a revelation phase. So if you think of revelations in the Bible, there's a tribulation before the revelation. So we're right in betwixt the tribulation and revelation phase. But y'all better be ready for what's going to come down, because what's going to come down is a lot of truth about things that you might have believed in or supported your whole life, and you might be realizing, holy crap, be thankful for that. Well, thank God. What if you realize that religion has duped you to think that there's a devil and a God in the sky that's judging you? You go to hell and you're judged for everything. What if you told that you've been duped this whole time with that, and you have free will to do what you choose, and there is no heaven or hell. There's only evolution. There's only karma. There's only a cycle of growth. You might think, oh, jeez, God, I feel lighter about that already, right? So we need to get prepared for that. But first, we got to start with what we need for ourselves first and how we can learn to rely on other people. So if you need some sort of assistance now, don't isolate. Allow yourselves to connect. Don't withhold someone who says, hey, give me a call and let me know if you need any help. Take them up on that call this week. Someone offered you something, you're like, I'm afraid to, respond to that. Go and get that offer, whatever it may be. Okay? So once we learn this, we learn how to really integrate and understand there are people that will support you, and you have to be ready to bring that in. Right. So yeah, it's not, if someone says having fun in the apocalypse yet, this isn't apocalypse. I mean, if you want to say apocalypse is dark before the light, then fine, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's not the end of, as people are, fear mongering it to be in that sense. But we have been accelerating very fast. So you guys see you want change fast, but if you're not doing the work to do the deep, meaningful change, then you're going to feel this toughness consistently because it's constantly changing, instead of being at peace because you're working with it, you're on par with it, right? And so that's what it is. So before we get into the topic, actually, no, I'll do the topic now. We'll into the topic, and then we have a message from Nina. So it's a simple message, but that's what this week's energy is calling for. Okay. And moving on, because we need to be focusing ourselves and relying on ourselves to relax and rely on others, but also being open for others to help us too. That's where we also can start talking about healing. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm having this I'm hot in my room here, my studio, and change this banner too. It's snowing, and I keep forgetting that I moved my desk and the AC vent's right up here. I have a sweater on, and I'm the lights, I'm have a nasal thing going on, so I'm sorry if you hear that. Okay, but let's talk about the truth about healing now, because many people think healing is some sort of ongoing thing, right? There's a process to healing, for sure. But if you think about, you cut yourself on your wrist, you need to do Neosporin around it to heal, and it heals, and you move on, right? Unless you keep clawing at it. I keep clawing, it's bleeding, gushing, and it just doesn't heal, then it gets infected, you know what I'm saying? You keep clawing at it, so then it's not going to heal. Then the healing process is going to be longer than it needs to be, right? So when we think about healing on the spiritual level, if we are always seeking healing and we're constantly, I'm healing, I need to heal, the question is, what are you not letting go of? And why are you still holding on? Why are you still clawing at the past? Why are you still clawing at things in your life that still requires you to go back to heal, claw, then heal, then clawing at it, then healing it? It's just metaphorically speaking. Why are you still doing that? Because, like I said before, many people are always healing because they've gotten comfortable in their dis-ease, that now the healing process is comfortable for them. Kind of not being neither here nor there. And so healing means that you've grown and evolved. Healing means when I've completed your healing process and whatever it is, you're on the other side being productive and engaging, and you've found that different version. You're full of life in that aspect that you need healing on. You're not reveling in it. You're not trying anymore. See, the efforting and the trying with healing means that you're still emphasizing the thing that you're trying to heal. You're still taking what you need to heal from, and you're making that the scope of your reality still. And so we need to understand that, healing is not about you're fixing something to make yourself better. Healing and being healed is a result of that you've grown from something. You've evolved and expanded out of something, right? That's what healing is. So what have you not evolved from that you're still healing on? Some people have been abused and molested as a child and dealt with sexual abuse, as I, and stay stuck in this mode of isolation, stay stuck in this mode of not trusting, right? And so they're keeping that current alive. I just need to heal. I shouldn't feel this way. I know I can't feel this way. I should change this feeling. It's no, you should feel exactly what you're feeling. When you look deep and down and say, well, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel isolated? You'll say to yourself, because I'm protecting myself now. What are you protecting yourself from? I'm protecting myself from being hurt and abused. Okay, that's great. But hurt and abused by whom? Then there's a missing question people will have. Well, I don't know. From people that take advantage. So is everybody on this planet people take advantage? No. Do you take advantage? No. So then why completely shut down and still trying to not feel what you're feeling if you haven't allowed yourself to think outside the box and allow yourself to say you deserve better and there is better? and that you're going to allow yourself to get comfortable with that better. That's healing. It's not pushing the feeling away. It's not numbing the feeling. It's addressing the feeling, saying, this feeling is valid. I don't trust people. Whatever the case is, and we're going for someone who's been abused. I don't trust people. Yeah, you shouldn't trust people if those are the people you meet, of course. You don't trust those people ever again. You now have discernment about that characteristics about people that you should not trust. And you should be protective over your trust. And you should just trust people just because. You should have discernment before you decide to trust someone and allow someone to show up that earns the trust, right? So this is the cycle that we do with healing. Not just, I just have to feel better. I just have to get that new relationship. That's not healing. That's numbing. It's like no different than just taking, Adderall or something like that for an emotional issue. You're just numbing yourself. You're not addressing the issue. It's just numbing it so you don't feel it, but then you're not progressing. So you're in this like void energy. You're in this energy of just like complacency, numb, So, is Adderall the right drug? I don't even know those drugs. Whatever psych drugs that, I'm talking about. I'm not familiar with the specific names of what is what. But that's what healing is. And healing is actually a natural process. Healing is a result. When you heal, it's a result. That's a result, that process of healing. It's not something you do. I'm healing right now. What the fuck are you healing? What are you actually doing that's healing right now? So what you should be doing is resolving and learning. And then guess what? Healing naturally happens. Right? So, and there's things you could do that will accelerate you into healing mode, but it's not healing that you're doing. It's resolving. It's come to terms with things. And it's also opening your door, opening your light and perspective up to a newer paradigm of thinking. And so we have to think of this way. And we have to also understand, too, our physical ailments are also indicative of our spiritual, internal, psychological ailments as well. It's very much a mirror. I had a client that was, struggling with the relationships and struggling with meeting a relationship and just having issues of blocking yourself and not meeting someone. And of course, I was saying, well, you're not in the right environment. You're overthinking too much about these things. And so your subconscious is constantly in a loop, I told her, of constantly thinking about, I don't have a relationship. And you're reminded of it. And you'll go out, you'll see a couple, then you're reminded of a relationship, and then boom, you get a headache. So every time she gets a headache, it's because she's feeling stressed and overthinking. And she goes, but when I'm exercising, working out, I'm having fun, I don't have a headache. I'm like, because don't you see the obvious result is that you get headaches when you're overprocessing, overthinking, being hard and heavy with yourself, not resolving things? I said, so when you look at somebody, if you feel like you're deprived of a relationship, you should be excited when you see relationships. You should look at a couple like, oh, I love that. I'm going to find that one day. You should have that light about it. You should have that progressive perspective and energy about it. Not staying stuck in depriving mode, thinking that, well, I'm healing. Not healing anything. You know how you heal? Is when you think better about relationships, is when you heal instead of thinking, oh, I just can't find anything. Everything I do, no matter what I do, I'd never meet the right people. That's not healing. That's clawing at the wound still. Of a lot of issues is some people think they're not worthy of love. Some people, think love is, relationships are too much work, or, what they want is so rare. That's another one. People think, oh, what I want is so rare. I'm so particular. I'm like, so what? And maybe you're being overly particular because you're somehow still protecting yourself. But if there's a version of you, there are 100 millions of other versions of you that are similar to you that will match with you. So this whole idea, like you're so, unique in what you want, is such a bullshit, irrational excuse for you to stay stuck in your pain and in your worry. It's not hard to meet people, So again, that's not healing. You're clawing at the wound still. Healing, again, any situation, healing and depriving yourself, if you're struggling, you made bad choices financially, and things going worse financially. You don't sit there and heal by saying that, oh, I'm just going to manifest the pain away, manifest the worry away, or, you don't sit there and think to yourself that I'm going to sit here and just, spend my money like I am rich, or, I'm just going to not think about money. You're not healing your financial aspect if you're doing it that way. You know how you heal your financial woes? You start taking out a spreadsheet and see every penny that's coming in and out. Say, I'm going to marry myself with my relationship to money. Because if you look at everything in your life as a relationship, how are you treating that relationship? Are you abusing money? Are you abusing it? Are you abusive to money? Are you neglecting it? I don't look at the bank account. Are you neglecting it? Are you abandoning it because you're not taking care of it? Because you won't be healing yourself of financial woes if that's the behavior you keep treating it. You heal your financial woes and your financial deprivations by saying, I want to be in control of every penny. I want to nurture the money that I make. And I want to see what's valuable enough for me to, I want to pay for or not pay for. And take control. That's healing. Healing is doing. But actually, like I said before, you're resolving the problem. Healing is actually the result of it. So some people just want to jump to healing. I have this problem. I need to heal from it. The problem, I need to heal from it. It's like, instead of saying, instead of jumping and saying, I have this problem, I'm going to find a solution for it. And then I'm healing. That's the process. That's the form we need to be focusing on. And so no matter what the area is in your life, I'm always baffled when I see people looking for a job for 1.5 years. I'm always baffled when someone can't meet someone for 2 years. And they always say, I've tried everything. If you try everything from a place that's broken, you're going to keep manifesting and aligning with things that are broken. I hate to say I said that stupid word manifest, but you will align and create for yourself other situations that keep you broken. Until you resolve that broken energy that creates that deprivation intellectually, spiritually, and do that with your behavior, you'll find your healing. You'll be in healing mode. You'll find your results. But now is this time of introspection to understand that. But also ask yourself, are you being too selfish with your life too? Are you contributing to anybody? Are you mingling with people? You're interacting with people to where you're putting yourself in better positions to where you can actually have better opportunities before you? And most of the time when I ask these questions, I say, well, no, but no, but no. Because you're only thinking, if you're coming from a place of being broken, you're only going to think of ways that's going to be broken. You're only going to think about brokenness, basically, because you're coming from a place of being broken. So you're going to send out a resume with broken energy. So someone's not going to feel it, because people are intuitive, whether they proclaim to be psychic or not. We all are intuitive. When we get a resume, we can feel the energy on that resume. People can feel it. People feel energy through an email, through a text. So they can read your broken energy, or somebody else just has a more shining energy, even though they might be simply qualified, but they'll give to the person that has brighter energy because they're not coming from a place of brokenness. And it's not that people judge you for being broken. They just read an energy that doesn't match what they were looking for. And so in order to be able to get what you want, you have to be able to understand how to match with others around you and to participate with partnerships and friendships and relationships somehow. So there's a lot of different avenues, that really have to be in a position. You have to think about which lane are you in that avenue. And yes, resume, yes, really, because resumes are things I have a lot of clients that come to me that they question about frequently. Is it my resume? Is something wrong with my resume? And after read, I'm like, yeah, actually, no, it's, they're sending out, and the point was about resumes, really. The point was about, the resumes about what we send out from our energy gets read by whoever we're sending it to. A text message, if you want to go that route, if it's an email, whatever the case is, people pick up on that energy. And the whole point was not about resumes. The whole point is about being broken, and sending broken energy and coming from a broken place is not going to have you progress if you don't understand what the resolution is, and to think outside the box and to solve the core issue of where this brokenness derives from. Okay. So, but I think a lot of this is important for us to understand. It's where are things deriving from in your life, both the good and the bad, that you define to me. To me, I don't see it as all bad. I just feel like things are just in a position based on how we're treating it, right? So if you think something's bad in your life, you're treating it poorly. If your money's bad, you're treating it poorly. If your relationship aspect is bad, you're treating relationships badly. Please keep it simple, right? Please stop adapting this victimhood mentality, because there's people who've actually been victimized that you shouldn't be putting yourself in that same category. I was victimized as a child and younger growing up. So being victimized because you're not getting what you want is almost insulting to people who've gone through trauma, who are actually victims. And usually real victims will say, I'm not a victim. We'll always say, I'm not a victim. No. We're in control. You know what I'm saying? So don't play the victim role because things aren't happening the way you want them to happen, because you're not seeing the things that you really do want and do need, and you're not seeing what you're doing that's not perfect. Because it's very interesting to me, a lot of people that I find who are deprived of things, they think they're doing everything perfectly. They think everything they're doing is perfect. Everything's perfectly done. Their energy's perfect. And they don't recognize that they're not coming from a perfect place, but they also recognize that they don't think about all the other people that are around trying to integrate in the same thing that they're trying to integrate with. They're not being aware of people around them, people who are connecting to, and other minds out there too. Other people who might be better than you at that job, that you might just shine a little bit more and be more vibrant enough. That's just the reality of life. But when you come from a place of passion and authenticity, didn't want to say that word because it sounds so cliche in the spiritual communities, but it's true. You're being authentic about what you truly need on the soul level, then you shine. You shine. You won't have these things, these broken fragments of your life where nothing's happening, nothing's working. You won't have that anymore, right? So when you're sending the resume out, who's the name that said that? Josh's Universe. When you think about resume, ask yourself, what's the energy in this resume? Do I have jobs in here I don't like? Do I kind of feel like my resumes, do I feel proud of my resume? Or I'm like, what energy are you sending with the resume? Is it good to compete? Are you leading with pride? Does it look organized? Does it look like you put thought into it? Like, think of the energy behind it. And ask yourself these questions. Am I coming from a place of being broken, or am I coming from a place of being unified and whole? And if you don't understand, if you're saying, well, I am come from a place of being broken, there are ways to put yourself, to make yourself whole in whatever it might be, by applying yourself and nurturing it in the physical way, in the physical, tangible ways that I was talking about before, to apply yourself to nurture and to put love into the things that you said that you want, that you're deprived of. Do you know how you put love into not finding a relationship? You actually start loving people in relationships. You start saying, I love that energy. I love being around that energy. I love that. I want that, so I love it too. So I just want to be around that energy and watch love stories. So many people are like, I'm sick of seeing it. I can't watch a love story. I feel like, because I don't have it. Like, you're still coming from a place of broken. Because if you really want something, you'll be around it no matter if you have it or not. You just love it. So again, whatever you're deprived of, put love into it. So you put love into it by saying, I'm going to put love into saying, I'll figure this out. I'll allow myself, I'll think outside the box. I'm open to that. It'll happen. Maybe it's not my timing, but I'll figure out maybe where I'm stalling. I'll figure it out. See, that's putting love into things. It's by encouraging yourself. You'll figure it out somehow. You might not be getting it now, but my goal is to get it, and I will get it. I'll find the problem. I'll find the solution, and I'll put it to practice and put it to play. Because it's not that you not having the relationship that's making you feel broken, it's that you are broken. Not having a relationship is reflecting that you already are broken. Same thing with money situations, whatever environment you want to apply this to. Fix the brokenness, become whole, put love into those things. And that's what you have to learn too, is how to put love into it. Many people are out of shape, or then they don't put love into their bodies, and so they're out of shape, they don't look good or whatever, and they're like, how do I love myself? I don't like the way I look. I said, you don't have to like where you look. You can address, I don't like what I've done to myself. I don't like how I treated myself. I look bad. And I put on weight or whatever I've done, and you don't have to love it. You could say, I don't like it, but I'm going to put love into my body now by saying, I'm going to treat my body with respect. I'm going to treat my body kindly now. I am going to nurture my body. I am going to put the conscious awareness into how I treat my body. That's putting love into it. But see, a lot of this narratives are saying body positivity. Fuck body positivity. It's not about body positivity. It's about self-love internally. It's about appreciation, understand how to put love into something in order to have it reflect back to you that it's in alignment with love, in alignment with goodness, in alignment with progress, in alignment with value. You can't expect yourself to not apply value into yourself or into your body or in your relationships and expect you're going to somehow just magically meet a valuable relationship when you put no value into your own personality, into your own life, into your own bodies. And how does that work? So this whole, self-love stuff has been so wrong. I love myself. No, you don't. Just stop lying to yourself. Because if you really love yourself, you don't have to be telling yourself you love yourself. You'd just be too busy doing it that you've been having a passionate, joyful life. Now is the time that we need to jumpstart that so we can have better discernment what's going on in this external world. And this way we have our foundation of what we truly love and where we truly sit and stand. So this way, when shit breaks down in our society and our world, we're not losing our crutches like, oh my God, what do I do? In panic mode and fall behind while AI takes over your life. Because that's the duality. Many of us are going to be riding the wave because we've been preparing for it. We understand there's a bigger current, bigger than you, and part of this collective that's directing too, that's guiding, not just you. And many of us are in tune to that current, in tune to that energy, in tune to that collective, in tune to that intelligence. And right now, we all need to be in tune to that intelligence, which means that whatever you used to believe, you better be willing to drop it. Whatever you used to, put your focus on and put your beliefs in and put your support in, you better start dropping that now and be ready to let go of all that stuff. Because all that stuff's going to start coming down with the tarot card, wherever it was. I put it. Here it is. Find the core, what you said before. Find the core of the solution for self. Fix the broken energy. Become whole with that broken energy, whatever avenue it is. Apply, participate, show up, put nurturing, put love into. Remember, it's about putting love into it. Not saying I have to force myself to all of a sudden love it. No, you're putting love into it. Big difference of the self-love journey. And then you'll be caught up and on par with this massive shift that we've been going through collectively, this acceleration, because the Knight of Swords doesn't play. The Knight of Swords, again, when this came up earlier, this is all coming with this a mission, this journey. It's very speedy. And that's the energy we're in right now. So, a lot of us I'm enjoying it. Do I have challenges? Of course, but I'm like, I kind of understand the challenges, so it doesn't get me down. I don't feel like, oh my God, it's not like, I can feel a heavy energy, but then I take some time down. I'm like, it's heavy right now, so it's like, I need to slow down a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of relax, keep my joggies on, just throwing this energy, maybe self-reflect a little bit, come up with ideas, and I do. And I use these times of these energies, these currents. And not all of you might be in tune to that, which is why there are people like I and other readers and spiritualists that are on here to make sure we can help you to be alerting of that, right? And that's why I do this. I don't get paid to do this. I do this. I spend money to do these live shows, unless you guys are paying for questions. But that money goes back into doing what I do, funding what I do here, right? So, but this is the point. So listen to people, let people guide you, let people, let you know about how you could be supported too. And let people let you know about how you could be more supportive as well. For those of you who are not being supportive enough, who are not allowing yourselves to connect with the collective, who are not allowing yourselves to participate with other people and those around you just because you have certain hangups. It doesn't mean you have to be loving everybody. That's not the message here either. Let's not go extreme. Then people think so extreme. Can't love everybody. It's like, let's not go extremes. It's like bring things to a balanced level that you don't have to love everybody, but you find people that you do love and you understand what it's like to participate with people and also not to participate people you don't want to participate with. You need to understand that balance. A lot of you people. And I feel like I'm talking to a few people specifically for some reason. Need to hear this. Because some people are just really wondering why they're alone, why they don't have people in their lives, and why they're not making relationships. And this is the reasons why. So you may have to rewatch this 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 times, over, for it to ring a ding ding for you. Okay? Because I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I've been where people, no matter what, I was getting numbers, go to the bathroom, get a phone number from somebody, and I always get numbers. And my friends just joke with me all the time, like, where'd you go? Did you get a number? And then I got to a point where I isolated and I wasn't meeting anybody. So I understand the formula when it comes to connection, but we're in the age of Aquarius. So all you guys who may not know, we're in the age of Aquarius for a while. It's about humanitarianism. It's about understanding the individual nature, individualism, but also how that connects with the collective. Let's get on board, because that's going to be a fun ride. If we're all doing like our own individual things and then we're like just sharing it together and there's no competition, it's actually kind of a nice cycle of humanity just assisting and growing and evolving, having experience. That's our next chapter. That's what we're supposed to be feeling right now. The assistance from people and connection with people, that integration of humanity and the human species as we can evolve together finally. You know how many times I hear people, I hate people, I hate people, I hate people, I hate people. I hear so many people. We'll get to a point where we all can start saying, like, oh, I love people. We have such a good species. There's some stupid fucks, but like majority of people are pretty much on the same page moving forward. We're going to experience that. So get your asses ready. Okay. All right. Before I get into these live readings, I have a quick message from Nina.
What is up, Thursday crew? I'm back doing channel messages. I'm coming back online slowly but surely, and I'm excited to do this message for y'all today. I'm intentionally sitting out in my balcony watching the rain while I do this channel message because I feel like it's connected. There is a clearing going on, almost kind of like that Hilary Duff song, like Let the Rain Come Down and wash away like all the, I don't know, like impurities and things like that. I forgot the lyrics, but there is this kind of washing away energy, this deep healing cellular rejuvenation energy. I kept seeing the imagery of almost like spiritual DNA with the salty rainwater going through it and moving out any stagnations. I'm hearing though that it is time to allow the healing energy to flow through you. There's something about acceptance and allowance of the good things. It feels like at first you're like, why wouldn't I allow the good things? But there seems to be resistance there when I'm tapping into the collective message. And when I was pulling cards, I got the Face Your Fears card. Let me show you guys. And the Releasing card, which is so, it just all makes sense with the rain and, hold on. These are the two cards. And I feel like that's what the collective's being called to do right now. Before stepping into the full energy of the fire, there needs to be this cleansing rain right before it.
Nina, did you like read my subconscious notes in my head for today's show? Because I don't take notes because that's exactly the message, collective message was. So it was about welcoming in the good stuff, but why you're not? Because a lot of people are saying come from that broken place. Exactly. So, and allowing yourself to find the solution so you can heal. Simple. But the process of doing so can be challenging. So let that be the challenging part. Don't let what you have to do to be the complex part. Let the challenging part be, okay, I'm going to look within. I'm going to sort this out emotionally, intellectually, put love into it, right? Because I deserve more. Because that's the thing, right, Nina? Nina will agree with me too. That's the thing, because, you know, when you feel pain for being deprived of something, you very just acknowledge you deserve better. Pain means no, I always say. Pain means no. So when you have pain about something, it means your soul does not agree. I don't agree with this. You know, so yes. So we need to start saying to ourselves, I'm actually going to allow myself to expand outside the deprivation, outside of being broken, and coming from a place of hope by putting love into these things and taking the time to do so. And that's where things become very kind of exciting, more fun. You have to wait for things, you know? So yes, Nina. So Nina was like, kind of like, yeah, exactly. And so thank you for that, Nina. It was very, very surprisingly, but not surprisingly, on point. So, okay, let's get to these reads real quick. First, we have Felicia. Nina, can you do me a favor? Can you make a time note stamp for me for this read specifically for Felicia? So whatever this timestamp is, can you just text me it right now? Because this will be a reading for Felicia. Okay, can you do that, Nina? And I'll wait till you say yes before I start on that. So, okay, perfect. All right. This is for Felicia's question, and the question is, just wondering, are you, oh yeah. What is it? Hold on. She's been ill for 2 months. I really need to know, what does she need to get well physically? Okay, so her sister. Okay, got it. So sister's been ill. Okay. Let me see, Felicia, about the sister energy. Sorry, the question was written wrong. You know, your sister feels resistant to change. So that's the hard part there, because if she doesn't want to change, she feels rather comfortable. Some people get comfortable being ill. So it's funny, this question is right on topic, actually, Felicia, for the theme today. I actually just realized that. Some people are very comfortable with being ill. I feel like it's serving her for some reason, which is why I feel like, not that she's a hypochondriac, it just feels she likes to use it for, attention, sympathy to. Not that there's nothing wrong either, but she's using it. So she's kind of creating these things. So the first thing she's got to do is get to the reality and the willingness to want to actually do something to change. And being open to that. Otherwise, whatever that might be, is redundant, or not even redundant. It's just would be useless because she's not wanting to open that door to change. I feel like there's something that benefits her from being sick consistently. It benefits her. Either she doesn't have to apply herself to things, or she has some sort of compensation. Whatever the case is, she's benefiting from it, and I feel like she's okay with staying that way. But to me, it's a lifestyle overhaul she'll need. So it's not so much she do this specifically. It's a whole lifestyle overhaul she'll need. So, but this isn't new. This doesn't feel new. This feels like it's been ongoing. It feels like, there's been no change, right? Since this occurred. So it feels like it's, but I just think that there may be some point in the next 5 years she might snap out of the haze a little bit, but I just see like whatever you'd recommend to her, it would fall on deaf ears. Kind of like, oh, I've done that before. I mean, she, maybe she tried it for like one second, So the best bet is to tackle her more intellectually and more emotionally, less about do this, do that, more about like, don't you want better for yourself? Don't you want to have better quality of life for yourself? And so, and then she says, well, of course I do. And that's always, of course I do. So then why are you not doing anything for yourself to do that? And why? Because consistency will bring the healing, the consistency of such, not just, I tried it for 1 day, 1 week, didn't change. Right. So you're going to have to she needs more the emotional, mental, medication, not medication. I was trying to say like, using the uplifting word spirit, she has medication, but it sounded wrong when I said mental medication. She needs more that mental healing, the shift of perspective first, so because there's many people that are sick and unhealthy, and no matter what they'll try, they'll fail at because they're still stuck in that mental rut of I'm comfortable being sick, but I'm sick and I don't like it. So like, so that's what I feel like your sister's in. All right. Moving on, a question from Ashley. I'll leave a question in the chat. Ashley, you can leave it in the thing. So Ashley, leave your question in the chat. So, okay, you're here. The reason I don't leave the question in the chat, because I don't really keep up with the chat all the time. So I might miss it. So Nina, you might have to let me know if Ashley, if you could send it in the chat somehow, or send it to Nina so I can get it. But yeah, because I don't always look at the chat, even though it's on my screen here. I'm looking at it here, but I don't always look, and sometimes things fly by and I don't see it. But okay, we have a question from Kristen Villaro. Hello, my dear. Hello, my dear. What do you see for me for the rest of this month? Anything my spirit guides want me to know? Generally speaking, well, not so much this month, but I feel like there's a change around. Actually, I was going to say the 20th. So tomorrow, I feel like a new energy current begins, but you probably won't start seeing that for you until like later this month, early March. It might have to do with something with investments or coming into a relationship with investors or investments to help with work and business and your business in that sense. So I feel that. So I feel like a direction starting to go in with that when it comes to investments and financially able to push the business ahead. Right? So I feel that. The cycle for you, I feel, so I don't know what the astrology is, but I just feel energetic cycle starting the 20th, which is tomorrow, that starts increasing some momentum over the next few weeks. That's what I feel for you. So yeah, so be okay with, doing, or I would say be okay because you're okay with it. Be on the lookout, I would say. I don't even want to say be on the lookout either, but just understand there'll be some more information being pushed to you, inspired to you about teaming up, investing, having investors, all that great stuff. So just have an open mind to that. All right. So a lot of progression with work in the business. And I feel like, the starting of mid-March, things will be really busy. By mid-March, things will be busy. So there's preparations for that. So yeah, that's what I sense on that one. So, all right, we got a card pull for Sydney Aaron. Okay. Let's pull these cards. Yeah, you should pay attention because I just feel like there's that momentum. But also, Kristen, pay attention to the inspiration too, because it might be saying, go here, do this, whatever, right? Think this way. And so please be aware what comes through and chimes in the next few weeks. So you can be on board. On board. On board with that. Yeah, y'all feel tired to me, y'all. Y'all feel heavy. Why you dead, Sydney Aaron? What if I talked like that, Sydney Aaron? Oh God. I've been feeling I've been so creative in creative mode, but I've also been very kind of like blah mode too at the same time. So all right, Sydney, this card pulls for you, which again, the easy. So, the star card. Look how I just hold it. The star card. I'm just going to read it because I already know the psychic read anyways, but just the cards are flashy for online, so that helps. But I don't, again, this is also the Four of Cups and the Magician and the Eight of Wands, right? So basically what it's saying is you have to understand, your priorities. You have to understand you are the priority moving forward here. Right now, you're still kind of like, where are the seeds? Where's the, I want to reap what I've sown. And like, I put all this effort. So where is it coming? And so it's like, stop with that. Stop with the where's it coming from shit. And say to yourself that things take time to nurture, as we know, right? You plant the seed, it takes time for it to grow. Just be confident you planted seeds and start creating other things. Because I feel like there's going to be like a pickup of momentum also in March for you too. The 16th primarily rings a bell about a shift for you, March 16th, about this momentum of you feel like things are kind of like surrounding you or things are connecting kind of all at once, but like it's not a bad thing because you start feeling, it feels all at once, but it's working together, right? So, so I feel like a new job, I don't know if you're looking for another job or a new job. I think I see like a new connection for a new job or a place of employment as well. And I see a retreat projected around summertime too. You might go on like some sort of retreat, as well as I feel like there's gonna be some dating interest this year. May not be full on relationship this year, but I feel like there might be some dating interests or something. So yeah, it's just like things kind of happen at once, but in a sense, but you're not like hating it, either. So okay, so there's that. Okay, so hold on, Felicia. This is your daughter. And see if the energy is the same. Okay, Felicia just correct me. I was in your sister, but not her daughter. But let me see if it's still the same energy because I read the question. So Felicia, let me just double check on your match the daughter's energy. Yeah, it's the same energy, Felicia. The difference is, I think when I was in your sister has more of a more direct energy than your daughter does, but it's the same energy as far as like there's a complacency with her health. There's a complacency to not really want to make the changes. It's benefiting her for the attention to a certain degree, but then she wants to change. So I just feel like there needs to be, it's more emotional, mental, Felicia. So it's that. So everything I did say, it's just, if I were now to read your sister and your daughter's energy, your sister feels like more of a direct energy. Your daughter feels more of a, not so direct. But I think she's got to work on the emotional on this, because it doesn't feel like just one thing I can pinpoint with your daughter. There's not one thing I can pinpoint that is wrong. It feels like an array of things. And it feels like conditional responses to things. I have this sniffles, and I have this pain here. Then it's like conditional responses to stress and emotional stress and depravity. And not focusing on the self, but then also enjoys the fact that it's this weird psychological thing. So it's the same read. Yeah, it's the same read. I was reading the question, not so much sister or daughter energy. So it is the same. When I tap it, I'm like, no, it's the same vibe I was getting initially. I just think that she needs to like think outside the box with it. So. And thank you, Iggy, for that too. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So with your daughter, I would just try to get her maybe to do therapy. Start first with the mental health. Relieving some stress, and letting her try things that she hasn't done before. That's the best thing I can say, because it's not, sometimes they gave me like a regimen to go on, sometimes they gave me something like this to go on, and it's like, no, it's all emotional, and there's random things that occur with her health that happen because of that, and then she'll maybe, enjoy the attention she gets when she's sick, or the fact that she may have downtime that she, and so it feels like she's beside herself on it a little bit. So I think she needs more therapy, actually. So yeah, same read. I just was, when I read the question, I'm just reading whatever end of the question is. So if I said sister and you said meant daughter, and I'm still reading the same energy you put at me, which is the interest of the question. Okay, Ashley's question is, I recently started talking to a guy, but I'm not sure if I should continue entertaining the connection because we work together. Oh, Ashley. Now, I'm not for one that's like a scenario-based guy, because connections can happen in any format, but, it's never wise to do work connections. I will read it, but I'm just saying it's never wise. I don't believe I've heard one in the thousands and thousands of people I've read in the past 13 years where a work relationship has gone well. So, but there's always a exception to every rule, right? So even though I feel that, and generally it's not good because of people watching, let me just read the connection too. Because there's always possibilities. Let me just see the connection itself. It's whatever. Right, that's the vibe. Who's moving? Someone moving? Are you moving, Ashley, or is he moving? Someone's moving. I don't know if it's you or he. It might be he. Maybe he's gonna move. Which might be different, but even despite if you weren't in a relationship, I just feel like it's like I feel like the connection is all right. So if it were to like develop despite the circumstance, it just feels like there's just an excitement, but just kind of blah. Like I'm like, all right, it's kind of fun, but like we're just kind of like we don't do much together, kind of, or when we do, it just kind of like falls flat. So it just feels the connection kind of will fall flat. That's what it feels like to me. So it's cool for casual, I feel like. Because even though I've consistently read things, I'm like, there's always exceptions, always something that could be different. So I'm always like looking for like, maybe it will be a good one. Maybe it just could connect, because I always know there's always possibilities. But I think it's not going to be bad if you did, but it's also like not, the relationship, it just feels like a flat connection moving forward, or you realize it feels flat for you. He does something recreationally too much. I don't know if it's drinking or smoking pot, but I just see him like sitting in the car doing something and just like not moving forward. So there's a laziness factor. I don't know, or something falls flat. I don't know with that. Yeah, that's, I would say so. So it's not bad, but I would also, I would not personally focus. I don't think the connection is that one for long term. But you're looking for something chill, that's fine, but that will kind of, wear out. Okay. Everybody's doing card pulls today. Y'all know I love me some card pulls. That's every single one. It's all good. It's fine. But remember, guys, card pulls are simple. They're not like big full-on reads. As a specific question would be. They're kind of like, I pull a card, there's a direction. It's not like I'm giving you a whole forecast with the card pulls. That's why I leave it as kind of a cheaper option for y'all. But, you know. For Stephanie knows too. And sometimes I go longer of those who are repetitive. It repeats and come back, and I know I've read before, so I can elaborate more to put it in perspective. But okay, Stephanie, you got the Fool card too, and then there's a Lover's card too. Not that I feel like this is just something I feel like again that you need to start becoming more open to. I just feel like this chapter is needing to be like knocking on your door about starting, getting into relationships, having a relationship, dating. I feel like the emphasis is calling you to start focusing in that way. Work has been, you feel sluggish in work. So I get that. So, but that's just, I think majority of people I've talked to have been sluggish with work, who work for themselves, since November, December. So it's kind of what's going on collectively. So don't let that be a detriment as far as how you see things, but they're saying you need to be more personable. You need to be more into like relationships and maybe start dating and meeting new people. Like they're encouraging for that. So I feel like that's kind of the next chapter, saying the next chapter should be emphasis on relationships. So a lot of times we're hyper-focusing on one thing, that thing will halt until we start focusing on something else. What we tend to think as humans is like, okay, that one thing halted, I got to hyper-focus on that one thing. It's like, nope. When you're hyper-focused on something and it comes to a halt, focus on something else. It's time to make space for something else, which will then probably also assist in picking things up on that nature. So sometimes we humans have it all backwards. Oh, well, now my business is halted. Now I got to put more focus. And sometimes that might be true. But if you've done everything, you've done it consistently, you've been on par with your work, then it's time to say, okay, maybe I need to spend time somewhere else and just kind of take a breather on that for a moment now. But some of y'all need to focus on work because you're not doing much. If you feel like you haven't been doing much and then work comes to a halt, then of course, then you have to show up. I'm talking specific to those who've worked hard, set a great foundation with their work, and have a little bit of a lull. It's like, okay, focus on something else. Build the momentum, another dynamic. Let it happen this way. This way you don't have to feel deprivations. And so that's the same for you, Stephanie. Into relationships. All right, moving on to the next. I'm trying to be quick with these. Because card pulls are just like so generic. They're not specific to a question. Just kind of whatever comes out, comes about. Okay, next is Iris. And yes, I'm going in order. So who's got PayPal? I'm just going in order. That will be the next one, actually. So the timing is interesting. So you're right after Iris. I think, what was it? Rwanda, I think the name was on I saw it in there. So yeah, I'm just going in order. And yes, a lot of people have put their questions in early too. So yeah, so I would definitely do that, my love. Okay, I think this is emotional for Iris. Get my Venmo back up so I make sure I'm doing the names correctly. Okay, yeah, Iris. The Eight of Cups to me is walking away from a situation or circumstance that's causing imbalance, because the Two of Pentacles is in reverse. I don't know why the mother energy comes up for me. Something with the mother energy needs to be released. I don't know if you were a caretaker with mom, or had to be a caretaker with mom, or have guilt or responsibility for mom. I just get that vibe for some reason. It could be all the above, actually, which is why maybe I'm not in a specific. There needs to be a releasing of this and starting a new chapter, starting a new path for yourself, and focusing on health and healing. As per this topic, actually, that's funny. I don't know why I feel like you might be a borderline diabetic, which is fine because I got my friend who was borderline diabetic and he's not diabetic anymore. He actually cut me the cuss and he went out. So I feel like there's a borderline diabetic energy that needs to be emphasized through diet, your regimen, and just being more, like we were saying before, we're nurturing in that retrospect. I don't feel like you were always this way. I just feel like there's some sort of a lull that happened that caused you to put less focus, emphasis on yourself. Perhaps it was a focus on mother or focus on a deprivation of mother. I don't know what that mother energy keeps coming up to be because it's just a card pull. I'm being simple, trying to be quick. But the direction is to really find the balance by putting back into yourself. And so I definitely think that's been taking a toll on you. And I think it needs to be redirected to where you find the space because I think it's starting to affect your health, to be honest with you. And Iris says, been taking care of mom and aunt for the past 3 years. Well, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that's my love. When you're doing this, because the whole caretaking energy like popped out at me, it being like the emphasis right now is causing a lot of stress on you. You got to find another avenue where you can walk away and to put time into yourself because that's creating that huge imbalance for you. And so it's not that you abandoned them, but you got to know your own limitations too and how others can maybe also assist you as well. And so I would rely on friends or other people that maybe can help you and do for you as well as much as you can during this time because it's so when I see people who are immersed in others' lives, and not that that's a bad thing, their light starts dimming. And this is not a message that we abandon the ones that we love. We have to understand how we can still do that and still allow our light to be lit so we can still put love and have the love back to ourselves. And I feel like you're similar to the energy of, I got it, I can do everything, I can do it. And so you can't do it all yourself. And that's something we all have to be able to confess to. I was one that I still do a lot of things myself, but I've come to realization I can't do everything myself. And I know my limits. And I do the things that I'm passionate about, so please put an emphasis on that. Okay. Just a choice to do that. Good. I'm glad you've been feeling that. I'm glad. But just your emphasis to choose that will take so much load off. But you shouldn't feel guilt. You should feel proud of yourself. The fact that how much you can handle, be proud, but also revitalize. Okay. All right. Let me see the next. I mean, I can go on, but these card pulls have to be very, very brief because I can chat away, but, got a card pull for card pull. I keep saying card pull for Ron. The card pull. Alrighty. Let's see here. Thanks, Iris. Appreciate that. That's kind of you to say that. Remember, Iris, it's just a simple acknowledgement for self. Right? Like, I will put just a little more love into it, right? Like we were saying in the beginning. And perhaps maybe the message was for you. I felt like I was talking like to somebody specifically. And perhaps you were one of them. And it's just making the choice. Like, I will do better for myself. That's it. You don't have to make a game plan right now. What that looks like, I'll do better for myself. I'll be aware when I feel tired. I'll be aware when I just need a little bit more. Just start there with that. Because you still have a purpose for yourself too. Is your purpose, and I don't want you just to be so wrapped up in the identity of caretaker, to where when you stop being a caretaker, then you're lost after that, right? So I don't want you to fully identify as a caretaker, even though that's what you're doing currently. Find other ways to identify. Don't get yourself so stuck in that rhythm. And again, doesn't mean you're abandoning. It just means that you're thinking differently. You're applying yourself differently in the avenues that you do apply for yourself. All right. Okay. So I just had to be clear about that. All right. For Ron. Ron, why do you feel confused to me? Why does Ron feel confused? Like you don't even know. It's almost like Ron's like, I'm going to say, like, I don't even know what to ask, so I'll just do card pull. Like, I don't even know what I want to know. I feel like Ron is like, that's what you feel like to me. I don't know why. Maybe he'll tell me something I need to know, or I don't know. Even he would say, like, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, that's the energy you get with Ron right now. So, but You should be focusing on. I hope that's true, because that's like when I tap into people's energy, I hear what's going on in your own head. So, but it's a card pull, so I'm honored that. 4 of Wands. So it is a focus on home and or property and or real estate, whatever. So there should be some emphasis on this, or there may be an emphasis, or there may be some sort of a focus to be put on any type of home, real estate, property, design. Maybe you design something. I don't freaking know what the design came in when I started seeing that, right? And so perhaps it's even talking about maybe even thinking about, refreshing your place, refreshing your home, or maybe even thinking about maybe moving if you didn't move yet. So there's just a whole newness of focusing on this, right? And the reason, when I get multiple things, it could be more than one. Perhaps it is about a new home, and perhaps there is also investment property. So when it's not just one, it feels like could be a couple things that might be lining up in that avenue, but it definitely is involving real estate, property or home, or your home in that sense. Okay. So that's what I'd be focusing on. And get out of this loss mode. Like, I don't know, like you're still, I feel like you've been taking a trip down misery lane. So that's not memory lane. You're taking a trip down misery lane as of late. So stop doing that. Charles or Charlie, I feel like he's connecting with you, or his name of Charles, or I don't know. I keep hearing the Charles or Charlie or something. I don't know why. Maybe it's someone in spirit that's trying to connect with you, or someone that will connect with you. I don't know. But maybe be aware of Charles energy, or Charles or Chuck or Charles, something of that nature. But stop taking a road down misery lane. Go back, maybe fresh up the home, maybe fresh up whatever. And perhaps maybe there will be a property that you will understand that I'm talking about in that sense. Okay. And that's that. And that's that. Okay. Next we have my PayPal pals, Rita. Rita says, I was laid off from work a month ago. What can I expect going forward with my career and direction? Well, we'll just give you timelines. I can't go so depth that you'll be doing this, you'll find this, unless it specifically is so aligned with that. But let me see kind of direction on this. Like if I see something coming up and when. I don't know why they're saying that you need to, Rita, you need to get more versed in technology. Perhaps maybe learning more about tech tools or something, tools you can use with technology. Getting more versed in that for some reason. They're advising. Will you be laid off? Will they hire you back so you're laid off? I don't know. I just saw like March again. I need to check the collective astrology on March. I feel like late March, either between the 20th and the 2026, I feel like there's a connection of a new gig, a new job. I know you're laid off, so they could bring you back, but I feel like there's another connection or newer connection. So you might actually have a choice to either go back in a different terms or have this newer opportunity, I feel like. It seems like this is in the same realm as what you've been doing, so I don't feel like it's some sort of a major career change. For this situation, but it also is like you might want to like freshen up on like technology, things and AI and stuff like that. Just kind of get more versed in it. Just FYI on that, okay? But yeah, so like I feel like late March, you'll have two opportunities or options to choose from. This downtime is needed for you anyway. So you might have another month of downtime that you might need. Please use that wisely too. And interestingly enough, Rita, I think they're saying that you should be focusing on your health right now. Not that your health is bad, but there should be things that are like reverse your health on your health, or put more emphasis into the health and activity, they're saying. Not that you're unhealthy and so bad health. It's just that's saying that now is a cycle to focus on that and take a breather. Because I feel everything will be fine as far as financially speaking. So, yeah. All right. Next we have Abico. Abico. Sounds like a brand name. Abico. I'm trying to think what type of brand name does Abico sound like. I don't want to say gas station. I was thinking like Amico, but not that. But Abico. It sounds like a product line of something. Abico. Like a I don't know, Abico. It sounds like something. I'm sorry, I'm just being stupid. Oh my gosh, got 4 ones too. How are you on the chat? Y'all, am I still streaming here? Making sure. Things just got quiet to a halt. Okay. Abby got the lover's card. And the 4 of Wands. So I'm just gonna say it's probably love and home. So I feel like that's the emphasis. Again, it's gonna be, this one's very general to me. I feel like there's a lot to elaborate on that would require more time. But I feel like this next chapter will be integrating relationships and home. So that could be that maybe, if you're in a relationship, that get a home together or focus on home life together. Or if you're not in a relationship, that you get in a relationship and, because I feel like half and half energy with this one as well. So, but I think there would be more emphasis on your relationships, romantic relationships. And there might be a move this year, or thinking about moving or integrating, because 4 of Wands is always my new home card. But in this case, it's like marriage. So perhaps you might meet someone or discuss marriage. I mean, you're not married, are you? And maybe if you are, because I don't feel that you are, but if you are, then like that, maybe you redo your vows or something if you are, but it just feels like this new energy. I don't know, but yeah, the Lovers card is to me, these are very literal, these cards that are coming out to me as I read them, but, and perhaps you might be hung up on some that you shouldn't be, or your eyesight on some that shouldn't be, but then there's a relationship that just evolves and becomes solid and you solidify it, and it's like new home energy too. So yeah, I mean, that's, they're being very mysterious on this. I don't know why, to me. And a few of these have been kind of mysterious a little bit, but I feel like maybe you just need to just not know too much about it. Maybe that's the whole point on this one. And let it be general, because card pulls are general, just be general. Like, yeah, the next chapter is love and home, and integrating home and love and relationships. And I also feel like a lot more entertaining, in conjunction too. So yes, that would be exciting. So let's go with a little bit of the mystery on this, Abby, huh? Shall we? Okay. Or maybe you were married before. I don't know, because I'm just like, why does I feel like she was, but isn't? I'm getting 2 of the same energies, but I don't know. But I feel like this new relationship, new love, new marriage, home, and all that great stuff. So, I don't know. Let's let the mystery brew. But that's the direction. Okay. All right. Last but certainly not least is card pool for Karma. Karma. Who's dehydrated? Is it Abby or Karma? No. Yeah, Karma, you're a little dehydrated. I'm getting a little headachy when I tap into you. So you're not drinking enough water, or you're just a little dehydrated right now. I don't know if you've been having headaches or having heavy head. You feel like you've been having that a little bit to me right now. So let me drink to that. That feels good. Karma, you need that. Okay. Yeah, well, you need that. Please drink more of this. Please. Because I also feel... Yeah, cheers. Did you drink with me? Okay, good. Saludos. I think you've been in your head too much, that you've been robbing yourself of nutrition and so forth and that nature. April's going to be a huge month for you. Just saying. So between now and April, about a month and a half, right? Before now and then, position yourself wisely as far as, with careers, you have direction with career, things moving forward with career in April. Very busy. I just feel very busy energy and just like all around busy, socially busy with career, right? And so doing your passion. Just let now in March be time you're just like preparing for it. But yeah, I definitely feel like that April's gonna be a busy year. So right now, just like focus on like health, focus on just chillaxing for a little bit, you know, letting some whatever loose ends and legalities, you know, that maybe you just want to celebrate the little wins and ask yourself like, maybe those wins I need. I don't need to that push anymore. Like start thinking like that, you know, and find that balance. But yes, I definitely feel like it's right now is a time to just take a chill pill until like April, you know, just kind of coast a little bit till April. Cause that's where I feel like the business really pops up for you in career and all that great stuff. So I'm excited about that because a lot of you guys too, tonight, I've been seeing like things kind of happening as a parallel, like there's love and relationship and then job at the same time or career. So a lot of these things are intertwining, which I'm not surprised for 2026 energy current, as I've been saying. So, I'm not surprised. And even summertime, I've been saying for a lot of people is like a sense of community, right? And sense of like integration. So, a lot of you guys are on that track too, right? But I feel like that's very collective, you know? And yes, so we have another question, I think, of Mandy, right here. Okay, perfect. What do you see I need to be mindful of in March now that I have my vet job? Finally, as we said, Mandy. Remember our first year, I'm like, I see you working with like animals or vet or something. And good, finally. I'll email you reading updates on Monday. Awesome. What do you be mindful of in March now that you have your vet job? I don't think you need to be mindful of anything right now. Maybe learn how to not be so mindful. Mandy, seriously, you know what I'm saying? Maybe just learn how to just maybe enjoy for a moment. You know, this is one thing I love about Mandy. You're so ambitious, right? You have wonderful history, right? Of how you're evolved, but I think you should just put too much on yourself. You know, understand there's got to be seasons where you're just kind of like, cool, I got my veg job. Let's just like chill for a month. Let's take a chill pill, right? I think just learn that. Remember, that's the state to where we receive the most spiritual information. That's why people go to meditation and humbada for whatever long, right? And so you don't have to humbada, but you can definitely just allow yourself to say, you know, I'm just kind of like reflect a little bit and just kind of, you know, just show up with things that are going in my life just right now, just like coast a little bit. Like I was saying to Karma, because her shit's picking up in April, and just like allow yourself to breeze through a little bit, you know? And so, yeah, you do this, and then I think that that'll help with the intuitive aspects. That'll definitely help with your psychic awareness, and, you know, because we have to learn the organic flow of things. Right. And so we have to learn to be like, okay, well, I cranked this thing up. Let me like stop cranking, because you keep cranking, you burn out that gear. Sometimes we crank things up. And this is why I love physical reality, because a lot of times we crank up energy and we let it go. We watch it play out. And so sometimes you just sit back and just like, I cranked it. Let me just let it play out. Let me see the direction it's going. That's this time right now, Maddie, for you. Okay. And so learn that. That's one of the most valuable things you could learn and teach yourself, is that knowing when to not think and not to be so mindful, and just show up and just like enjoy. And that's receptive mode. That teaches you how to be good, to be in receptive mode and to receive. It's really good of teaching yourself that, you know? So you want to be able to be receptive. That's one thing you want to master too, how to receive, how to just allow myself to receive the energy of life, and how do I receive the information from spirit, right? So if we can do these things in our daily lives of how to receive, we're going to be receptive with our gifts, our spiritual gifts too, you know? So that's to be mindful of, is be mindful of not being so mindful. But you understand what I'm saying. Doesn't mean you're detached or putting your head in the sand. It means that you're allowing yourself to just show up, you know? All right. And you know, I would say there's a lot of people in the room that could benefit from that encouragement as well, right? And so, because I attract a lot of overthinkers. I'm Aquarius, but Virgo rising. So I'm like very airy, but so fucking neurotic at the same time. So I had to learn how to manage that duality. And I'm glad I did, because it's like, it works in my favor. So you all who are overthinkers, don't stop being an overthinker. Just know when you're thinking in your favor and when you're not, you know, and when you're applying your thought processes to things that are valuable, then you allow yourself the downtime. You know, so overthink your way to think about how you cannot think. I can overthink my way of saying I can like eat this, I can do this, I can show up and enjoy that and do this and just think your way out of thinking, you know. So anywho. Well, that was that. And that was great. No more the readings are closed now, so I appreciate all you guys who got your readings in. And my final thoughts. I always, every time I put that banner up, it was like Jerry Springer's final thoughts. Except we're not coming out of a shit show. Or are we? I want you guys to understand, life is not about getting things. I know it sounds so bumper stickerish, right? But it's not about getting things. It's about becoming something. It's about becoming what you want to become. Right? Focus on what you want to be. Like your emphasis should be, your joy should be saying, how do I want to develop my avatar? I see so many people have so much fun at doing sim games and they're creating their avatars and so much time doing that. And then like, what about your own real life? You have a real life fucking avatar right here that you're actually really experiencing. Like, let's focus on like, who do you want this avatar to become? Maybe you want to be more expressive. So maybe you want to work on like just being more, expressing your opinions more. Do it. We have resources online and go on blogs and plop your input, but we're not talking about like being keyboard warriors and people who just want to spew negativity and shit like that and be a nuisance. But perhaps you want to just like, share your opinions with people. Open it up. Go in that direction. You know? And so, you know, ask yourself, are you really attending and putting love into your avatar? Or just wondering why you aren't getting the things that you want in life. And you're not getting things you want in life because you're not attending to your avatar. Your avatar is the thing that will get you there. The personality, the characteristics of your avatar will achieve those things that you say you want. So put the emphasis and the fun into the avatar, which is you, which is this physical life. That's what your soul came here to do. Because you know what happens with the human condition is, when we get what we want something else. We get what we want something else. We want more and more and more. We become insatiable. Versus having the peace within to say, I'm always evolving, I'm getting more wisdom, there's always something to learn from, I'm good. You know? So I think we just need to revamp of what we're focusing on, what the goals are. Because we come to a period of where materialism has been really coming to a head of saying, like, people are starting to realize, especially COVID was a great initiator, that I don't need much. I don't really need all this shit. I don't need to be spending on all this stuff. You know, people are starting to recognize that now. I don't really care about dressing up anymore. I don't care about, I just wear my dress, you know, my jogging pants to work. And, you know, people have gotten their schlumpy dumpy energy on. But there's always going to be a swing of the pendulum where it goes extreme, but we're starting to level up, realize, like, you know, maybe all this clothes I'm buying is not so important. Maybe the appearance thing is important, but maybe it's not so hyper important that I need all these things done, or maybe it's more about the light that I'm shining. So we're starting to recognize what's more important now. And it's not about what you're getting. It's about who you're being. Because when you're being someone, you're constantly experiencing the energy of what you're being. So enjoy it. It might be you want to be more confident. And I would say confidence is a result of how comfortable you are with something. So if you're not confident, you're not comfortable with yourself. So get more comfortable with yourself. Confidence will be a result of it. And so, you know, be dedicated and commit yourself to building your avatar. Don't neglect your avatar. Otherwise, you won't be able to play your fucking game right. Okay? All right. That's what we're doing. And I love that the focus card came here. Right after that. That's the closing thoughts. Okay? So I'll see you guys next week. What is next week? Are we still in February next week? Let me just double check my calendar. Because I think we're in March next Thursday, right? No, it's the 26th. Why do I feel like February is almost over? So okay, so it's still the end of February. So we'll do like a March forecast. I'll do that. We'll do a March forecast next week. What to expect for March and catch up with that. So yes. Thank you all. You guys are great. And so again, if you want to book a private session with me, again, my one-on-one sessions are way more in depth, way more specific, because I have you face-to-face and I can focus and not speed read. So it's scottcruzpm.com. I still have some February bookings open. It's been I always do well, but it's been kind of a little quiet, but I'm kind of glad because I'm working on my music video. So, but there's bookings open and whatever's available, you all take. scottcruzpm.com. like I always say, life reading sessions, have my health medium. We can talk about past life incarnations, subconscious unresolved traumas, how to resolve the healing process, all that great stuff. What's going with career. I've actually assisted in a lot of like career ideas, I've channeled, which has been the past 13 years. Some brilliant stuff I channel from spirit actually with others. It's always easy for other people. But yeah, so take advantage of my channeling abilities, please. I've been doing it for so long. I'm very confident in my channeling abilities, and I love them very much. And stay tuned because my music video will be out soon. I'm very excited. I've done a lot with it actually. So, using AI to assist, I would say, right? So my music is all me. I don't use AI in my music. It's all my voice, all my writing, all that stuff. But with music videos, I'm like, there's things I want to put myself in that I can't because I don't have a full-on production, but with AI I can. So with use of green screen, me recording myself 7 times to do different parts, different angles, and then using AI to do angles I can't do, like zoom-ins and all that stuff. And it's pretty cool that I would be able to do things and put myself in situations like coming out of a grave, it's interesting that I can get more in my head out through with the visuals for my music. So I'm excited to release that. When I showed it to Christopher last night, he's just like, oh, it's like how many the acts are there? It's like because it's different. I'm telling a story, so it carries on. So I'm excited about that, and then after that, we have my ballad. So there was someone too that was like, love your message, but I don't like the headbanging music. I'm like, I don't make music for just you. Like, are you all right? So I can appreciate you don't like headbang, but I don't think my song's headbanger. Maybe some rock influence and high vibe. But do we need to tell? You need to tell people what you don't like about what someone does because you don't care for it. Like, can we not be this way, people? Like, seriously. It's not like I go onto like Christina Aguilera's page. Like, I don't really care for your voice, and then go off. Like, I just why? But we don't need to know what you like. Or just going to a Chinese restaurant saying, by the way, I don't really like Chinese food, and walk out the door. Like, why do we do this? Do we need to know that? So I create the music that I like, that I express myself in, and you like it, you do. If you don't, you don't. If you appreciate it, fantastic. It's not a headbanger. There's a part of actually there is a part in the bridge that gets kind of intense, as you heard, but it's an expression. But can we just our opinions don't matter? Okay. Can we keep our opinions to ourselves with other people? Like, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me, but it's just, I always feel like, why do people think that's important? If I just see people fighting over opinions, it's your opinion, and I always say opinions are like assholes, right? We all have them. We all have one, and most of them stink. Mine smells like peaches and cream and roses. All right. So, but anyways, I'm excited. And yes, and if you didn't check out last week's episode of Leading Out Loud, it's now on Saturdays. So I've got a lot of crap for this because people watch LOL. Christopher has been consistently late, and I'm putting it out there. And and so I show up on time and then just wait for him. And now he wants to do it on Saturdays. So now LOL is now airing on Saturdays. We film on Wednesdays. So that's his choice, not my choice, and we air it on Serious Choice platform, so I don't really have a say on that. So, and he's been begging me, so I'm sorry if the communication was bad. That is not my doing. I am very communicative on my own show and what I do and show up, and I let you guys know I'm working with somebody else who ain't so prompt with those things. And I told him I have to tell my audience that because I do not want that to be a reflection that we're late because of me. Nope. Never. Okay. So I'm too Virgo and too Aquarius for that shit. So check it out. We just aired the one with David Palmer. So it's on my page to check that out. And our next show will be this Saturday. So check that out too. All right. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And guys, remember, you all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. I think there's a thing here. Let me just see before I go here. Booking calendar on your website is not showing me some other. Oh, let me see. Maybe that's why it's been slow. Maybe I blocked it down. And just check real quick. ScottChrisPM.com. Actually, because some people booked. I had bookings come in today. Let me see. You go to book a reading. Okay, I'm on my website, so it'll tell you. Go to book a reading. Go to calendar. It pops up. You go book. Yeah, I have my next available is the 23rd. The 23rd in the afternoon is my next open. So yeah, it's working. Might have to refresh. or try a different thing, but like refresh it. Sometimes it, depending on the connection, it takes on, but it's working. There's slides there, but any questions, just you can send me an email if you have any questions on that. Okay. And Pamela says before we go, I like your new song, and I'm 76 years old and listen to Johnny Mathis. Oh, I love Johnny Mathis too. See, Johnny Mathis. I listen to everything. Love Johnny Mathis. I love old 40s, 50s music. I love rock. I love indie. I love hip hop. I love country. I love folk, bluegrass. I go from Enya to Wu-Tang Clan. So I am so versed. I love ambient music. Just so much great expressions that I love. And so, but I definitely love the 50s, 60s era. I must have been reincarnated from the 50s, 60s era previously, because I just love the era of that 50s, 60s vibe. So anyways, you're all amazing, guys. And remember, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. I will see you next week. Good night, guys.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.